Why do some men and women become forgettable, while others live rent-free in the minds of all who meet them? The problem, dear viewer, is not charm, beauty, or fortune. It is the absence of strategy. Today, we shall solve this problem: how to make anyone not merely like you, but become utterly obsessed with you. I am Niccolò Machiavelli. Though centuries divide us, the laws of power and desire remain unchanged. To rule hearts, as to rule states, one must understand not love, but obsession. For obsession is stronger than affection, more enduring than passion, and more binding than loyalty. Imagine, dear listener, that you walk into a room filled with strangers. At that moment, no one knows you, no one has measured your worth, no one has placed you on the pedestal of admiration, or cast you into the shadows of irrelevance. In that instant, you hold complete power, for perception has not yet been formed. And know this: men and women are ruled not by truth, but by appearances. They do not care for your soul, nor for your true nature. They care only for the mask you present. Thus, if you desire to be not only admired, but obsessed over, you must become a master of shaping what others see. Human beings are simple creatures in their judgment. They do not probe the depths of character. They cling to surfaces. A man may be cunning, ruthless, and entirely self-serving, yet if he cloaks himself in charm, generosity, and elegance, he will be adored. Likewise, a woman may possess no great beauty of birth, yet if she cultivates mystery, grace, and refinement, she will be worshipped beyond those with natural gifts. The secret lies in understanding that perception is stronger than reality. People will believe the image you feed them, even if the truth contradicts it. Consider how rulers hold power. The prince who governs with iron may still be praised as merciful if he hides his cruelty behind the veil of necessity. The king who squanders wealth may still be called generous if he stages his gifts in public spectacle. The people are blind to truth when dazzled by appearances. And so it is in matters of obsession. If you wish another to think of you endlessly, to imagine you in their waking thoughts, and dream of you in their restless nights, you must sculpt yourself into the figure they most desire. Ask yourself, what do they hunger for? Is it strength, charm, tenderness, mystery, or danger? To the fearful, you must appear as protection. To the ambitious, you must appear as opportunity. To the lonely, you must appear as warmth. You need not truly possess these qualities, only the ability to display them. For it matters not what you are, but only what they believe you to be. And once they believe, they are trapped. To achieve this, you must master the art of performance. Every word, every glance, every gesture must be deliberate. When you speak, let it be with weight and purpose. When you are silent, let your silence suggest hidden depths. When you smile, let it seem as though it is a rare gift, bestowed only upon the worthy. In this way, each act builds the illusion of someone greater than mortal, someone irresistible. They will not see you as ordinary. They will see you as the answer to their desires. But beware, too much truth will destroy the illusion. If you reveal your weaknesses too openly, if you show yourself to be common and unremarkable, they will cease to be obsessed. Obsession thrives on a distance between what is seen and what is real. Do not allow that distance to collapse. Hold parts of yourself back. Keep secrets unspoken. Let them guess at what lies beneath. The unknown is more powerful than the known, and mystery feeds the imagination. Think of a portrait half finished, a riddle unsolved, a treasure chest locked. People will torment themselves with curiosity, filling the gaps with fantasies. And those fantasies will always be grander, more intoxicating than reality itself. If you wish them to dream of you, give them fragments, not the whole. Appear as a figure of fascination, not as a book already read cover to cover. In this game of perception, your clothing, your posture, your voice, all are weapons. Dress not as you feel, but as the image you must project. Walk not as you are, but as though each step were a statement of authority or allure. Speak not every thought, but only those that elevate your presence in the minds of others. The ordinary man speaks to be heard. The master of perception speaks to be remembered. When you enter their life, you must appear as the answer to an unspoken prayer. They will look upon you and believe they have found what they were missing. This belief, though false, will bind them more tightly than any truth ever could. And once they begin to see you not as you are, but as the embodiment of their secret longing, obsession has already taken root. Remember, it is not enough to simply exist. You must construct yourself like a work of art, each stroke deliberate, each color chosen. You must show them not who you are, but who they wish to see. And when they see it, when they believe it, when they cannot separate illusion from reality, they will think of you endlessly, crave you ceaselessly, and surrender their reason to their obsession. Consider this truth: men and women grow wary of what is always at hand. A song played too often becomes noise, a feast served daily loses its flavor, and a face that never departs ceases to stir the heart. Presence, though it flatters at first, soon dulls the edge of desire. Therefore, if you wish not merely to be liked, but to be longed for with an intensity that borders on obsession, you must master the art of absence. Absence is not neglect. It is a weapon. It is the invisible hand that shapes hunger, the unseen force that turns passing interest into restless yearning. Think of fire: when denied oxygen, it flickers, but when given too much, it devours itself and dies. So it is with human desire. If you flood them with your presence, their appetite will wither. If you withdraw at the right moment, their hunger will sharpen until it consumes them. Mark carefully the moment of your retreat. Do not vanish when you are already forgotten, but when your presence still lingers like wine on the tongue. Let them taste you, then deny them the banquet. In your absence, they will imagine you more vividly than they ever perceived you in the flesh. They will replay your words, recall your gestures, and dream of your return. And in this torment, their attachment deepens. This strategy is not without danger, for absence poorly timed may lead to indifference. Too long away, and you become a shadow lost to memory. Too soon, and you seem cold or uninterested. The mastery lies in knowing when to pull away, when the spark of desire is lit but not yet satisfied. Leave at that instant, and you will carve yourself into their thoughts with greater force than any continuous presence could achieve. Reflect upon rulers and generals. A king who is always visible loses his majesty. A commander who is always in camp breeds contempt. But let them appear rarely, in moments of triumph or crisis, and their presence inspires awe. The same principle governs the realm of desire. You must not be common, you must be scarce. And in scarcity, value multiplies. When you withdraw, do not explain yourself. Mystery amplifies absence. If they know where you are, what you do, why you delay, then the imagination rests. But if you vanish into silence, their mind becomes your greatest ally. It will conjure scenarios, invent reasons, and magnify your importance. Every unanswered question becomes a chain that binds them closer to you. Silence is as potent as presence. A message unanswered, a meeting declined, a sudden disappearance from their daily rhythm. All of these strike sharper than words of affection. For what men cannot obtain, they desire more fiercely. Deny them access, and they will chase you. Give them absence, and they will build your image greater than reality. But you must return before absence becomes abandonment. The return is as crucial as the withdrawal. When you reappear, do not come back diminished, but magnified. Step into their world as if distance has crowned you with new allure, as if your absence has made you more radiant, more desirable, more essential than before. They will welcome you with doubled fervor, for their imagination has been stoking the flames in your absence. Understand that obsession thrives on imbalance. If you are always there, always accessible, there is no tension, no pull, no chase. It is the gap, the space you create, that makes them lean forward, restless and unsatisfied. It is the withholding of your presence that makes your presence worth worshipping. This is not cruelty, but strategy. You are shaping desire as a sculptor shapes stone, removing in order to reveal. Absence also teaches them fear, the fear of losing you. When you are gone, even for a short while, they taste the void of your absence, and it terrifies them. They will cling more desperately when you return, not wishing to lose you again. In this way, Absence binds them with chains stronger than affection, forged from dread and longing alike. Do not mistake constant attention for devotion. True devotion is born in the moments when you are missed. It is not your nearness that will enslave them, but the aching void when you are not there. Make your presence valuable by making it rare, and you will become the object of restless desire, the figure they cannot escape in thought or dream. If you would make another human being utterly obsessed with you, you must understand that kindness alone is a weak instrument. Endless sweetness breeds boredom, and constant generosity breeds contempt. When a person receives all they desire without effort, they soon grow numb to the gift. They take for granted what is always given, and they forget the value of what costs them nothing. Therefore, if you wish to enslave their heart and mind, you must balance your kindness with cruelty, weaving warmth and coldness in such a way that they cannot predict which face of yours they will encounter. Kindness is a powerful tool, but it must be measured like a precious spice. A single act of affection, when rare, can intoxicate more than 1,000 gestures given freely. A smile offered at the perfect moment burns itself into memory. A word of praise spoken sparingly carries more weight than a river of compliments. Your kindness must feel like sunlight breaking through clouds, unexpected, fleeting, and therefore treasured. They must believe that your approval is something to be earned, not simply given. And in their efforts to earn it, they will become consumed by you. But kindness without cruelty is weakness, and cruelty without kindness is tyranny. The true master combines them, using each to sharpen the effect of the other. When you withdraw your affection, when you grow cold or silent, you create a void that gnaws at them. They begin to doubt, to fear, to crave. And just when that craving reaches its peak, you bestow a small kindness, a smile, a word, a gesture, and in that instant, they are overwhelmed with gratitude. They will not see the cruelty of your withdrawal, they will see only the sweetness of your return. Thus, your cruelty makes your kindness a weapon far sharper than generosity alone. This rhythm of giving and denying creates obsession. Imagine a prisoner who longs for sunlight. If he lived in the open fields, the sun would mean little, but when he is confined to darkness and granted only rare glimpses of light, each moment under its warmth becomes holy. So it is with your affection. If they taste it rarely, they will value it above all else, and in their thirst for more, they will surrender reason and will. Cruelty, however, must be applied with precision. It is not the cruelty of violence or insult, for such wounds may turn into hatred. Instead, it is the cruelty of withholding, the cruelty of silence, the cruelty of absence. It is allowing them to feel uncertainty, to question their place in your regard. It is the quiet sting of denial, not the brutal lash of open scorn. You must give just enough pain to stir fear, never so much as to kill devotion. When they suffer in longing, they cling more tightly. When they are wounded lightly, they beg for healing. And you, in your calculated mercy, become both their tormentor and their savior. Observe how rulers of states command loyalty. A prince who grants endless favors is despised, for his subjects see him as weak. A prince who rules only with terror is hated, and hatred breeds rebellion. But a prince who mixes mercy with fear keeps his people both grateful and afraid, and thus completely dependent. So it is with the empire of the heart. Too much sweetness and they grow spoiled. Too much cruelty and they flee. But the careful blend enslaves them, for they will never know which face of yours tomorrow will bring. This uncertainty is the root of obsession. They will wake wondering if you will favor them today. They will lie sleepless, replaying every word and gesture, searching for clues. They will scheme, they will beg, they will dream of the moment you shift again from cold to warm. It is the unpredictability that chains them to you, for the human spirit craves certainty, and when denied it, becomes restless and consumed. The most intoxicating power you hold is the ability to create contrast. Your rare acts of affection feel divine, because they rise from the backdrop of your restraint. Your moments of coldness feel devastating, because they follow the sweetness of your warmth. One cannot exist without the other, And it is in the constant turning of this wheel that obsession grows. They will cling to you not because you give endlessly, but because you give little, and in that little, they find infinite meaning. In this way, kindness and cruelty are not opposites, but partners. Each sharpens the other, each gives power to the other, and together they form the most dangerous of weapons. By granting and denying, by lifting and lowering, by blessing and withholding, you shape the heart of another into a state of restless dependency. And in this restless state, obsession is born and nurtured until they can no longer separate your cruelty from your kindness, nor their suffering from their devotion. At the heart of all human desire lies one truth: men and women crave what they cannot fully possess. Give them everything they want, and they will no longer want you. Deny them completely, and they will turn away in frustration. To make someone obsessed with you, you must learn the delicate art of power, of keeping them suspended between hope and denial, never allowing them to stand firm, never allowing them to rest. It is not love that holds people bound, but power, and he who controls the balance of power controls the soul of another. Consider this carefully. Obsession is born not when someone feels secure, but when they feel uncertain. Certainty is the death of passion. If they know exactly how you feel, if they believe you are wholly theirs, the mind quiets, the imagination falls silent, and desire fades into routine. But when you give them fragments, half glimpses, when you weave your words with suggestion rather than declaration, then their imagination is set aflame. They will fill the empty spaces with their own longing, and in doing so, they will build you into something far greater than reality. The essence of power dynamics is dependency. You must structure every interaction so that they lean upon you more than you lean upon them. Let them need your approval, your presence, your affection. Make it so that their joy feels incomplete without your validation. A word from you should feel like a reward. A silence from you should feel like punishment. Do not give them the satisfaction of ever feeling equal in the exchange. Equality breeds comfort, but imbalance breeds obsession. Observe how rulers maintain their dominion. The prince does not grant his subjects complete liberty, nor does he crush them beyond hope. He gives them enough freedom to breathe, but not enough to live without him. He gives them just enough prosperity to thank him, but not enough to thrive without his rule. In this way, they remain bound, dependent, grateful and fearful all at once. So it must be with you. Give them attention, but not too much. Give them closeness, but not always. Let them feel special, but never secure. A powerful method is to offer half promises. Suggest without confirming, hint without committing, entice without delivering fully. Perhaps you say, one day, perhaps we shall, or maybe, if the moment is right. In such words, you give them a taste of possibility, but leave them chasing the fulfillment. Their thoughts will circle endlessly, wondering when, wondering how, wondering if. You have planted in them a hunger that only you can satisfy, yet you never allow full satisfaction. When they seek clarity, do not grant it. When they demand answers, offer riddles. When they ask if they have your affection, give them signs but never declarations. They must never know the full extent of your heart, for certainty will free them. Keep them chained in doubt, and they will forge the shackles tighter with their own hands. The more they question, the more they chase, and the deeper the obsession grows. Even in acts of intimacy, whether of words, gestures, or presence, always hold something back. Give enough to ignite desire but deny enough to keep it alive. A treasure freely given loses its value. A treasure withheld becomes priceless. You must be like water in the desert, essential, desired, but never abundant. Every drop you grant is magnified by the thirst you create. Do not mistake cruelty for mastery. True power lies not in crushing them, but in guiding their dependency, so they believe they are choosing it freely. The bird does not feel the weight of the cage if it mistakes the bars for safety. So must you build your hold. Let them think it is their devotion, their loyalty, their choice that binds them. They will not realize that it is your calculated balance of kindness and denial, presence and absence, that has trapped them. Remember, too, that you must guard against surrendering your own power. Many fall into the trap of giving themselves wholly, losing the very allure that once captivated. To maintain dominance, you must remain slightly removed, never entirely within their grasp. Let them feel they almost have you, but not fully. Let them believe they are on the verge of winning your complete affection, yet never allow them to reach it. The closer they feel, the more desperate they become when it slips away. In this endless cycle of granting and denying, of lifting and withholding, you hold them in a state of unrest. They will think of you constantly, driven mad by the imbalance. They will crave the satisfaction you dangle before them, and when you do grant it in fragments, they will treat it as sacred. Thus, you become not just a person in their life, but the axis upon which their world turns. This is the mastery of power dynamics, the art of keeping another so dependent on you that they cannot, even for a moment, escape the gravity of your presence. Obsession, then, is not born of chance but of design. To make another captive to your presence, you must command the four great arts, to shape their perception, so they see not who you are, but who they crave, to wield absence like a blade, sharpening desire in the void you leave, to mix kindness with cruelty, so that they are bound in gratitude and fear, and to master the power between you, granting never enough to free them, yet always enough to keep them chained. In this way, you rise beyond mere affection, beyond fleeting admiration. You carve yourself into their mind as an unshakable force. And once you stand there, enthroned in their thoughts, they will not love you as one loves lightly, but they will live in obsession, unable to escape the shadow of your influence.